reviewing what we've learned so far in this month, which is learning all about I. So here's what we've learned so far in I, for I. Okay. I says I if one of the next two letters is another vowel. I says I if one of the next two letters is not another vowel. So if it's two consonants or a consonant and then just the end of the word. IGH says I. And IGH is usually in short words when the last word letter is a T, like flight, might, light, night. I is spelled with a Y when it's the last letter, when it's the last sound of a one-syllable word. Let me say that better. You spell the long I sound at the end of a short word with a Y, like my, try, fly, buy, cry. You spell the I sound with a Y if it's at the end of a short word. I in the middle syllable says I, like family, hospital. All of those I's in the middle, they will say I if there's a syllable on either side of it. TI says shh when it's almost to the end of a longer word and there's a vowel after it, like nation or patient. TI says shh. Same with CI. CI also says shh when it's almost to the end of a longer word and there's a vowel after it, as in physician or magician. TI and CI say shh. All right, so let's get spelling using a combination of what we've learned so far. So our first word that we're going to spell together is sply. Sply. I'm going to do this one with you. Let's separate the sounds first. So we have s, oops, sp, l, I. Consonants first. Sp, l, I. Now since this is at the end of a short word, we spell it with a Y. Y is how we spell the I sound at the end of a short word. So if short word meaning that Y is the only vowel, it's not a multisyllable word. We never spell words that end with I in our language. Hi is the only one that's allowed. If you see words that end with I, they're not English words. They come from other countries, like ski comes from Scandinavia, spaghetti comes from Italy, sushi comes from Japan. So sometimes if you see a word that ends in I mean, when you see a word that ends in I, it's a foreign word. In English, we don't use it. I is never at the end. So you would never spell buy like that, or try like that unless it's a prefix, or fly like that. Never put an I at the end, always use a Y. Okay, so your word is chai. Chai. Split the sounds first. Chai. I think hi is allowed just because it's short for hello. It's just kind of a shorter way to say hello. Hello, hi. I don't know. That's where that word came from, or why we're allowed to spell that random word with an I. Okay, so this word is chai, and the first sound is a ch, like a karate chop. Ch, ch, ch. Okay. Yeah. So our consonant sounds are ch, spells our ch sound. And then we're spelling the I sound at the end of a short word with a Y. There's chai. Now, if you spelled it like this, then that's not all bad. That's okay, because I mean it's not correctly spelled, but if you say this word like in everyday language, how does it sound? It kind of, this combination kind of sounds like that, doesn't it? Doesn't it sound like try, try? That is because we say this blend sloppily. We don't enunciate it well. We should say try, try hard. But because we just kind of speak quickly and not really focusing most of the time on precise articulation, it comes out as a CH. So if that's what you heard and that's how you spelled it, that's not so bad. That's okay, because that's, what you're used to. But the correct way to spell the ch sound is a CH. Okay, our next word is splite. Splite. Let's do this one together. We have S-P-L-I-T. Consonants first. S-P-L-I-T. Now, we have a one vowel word. I can tell because there's one dot here and it ends with a T. When that happens, and when this vowel sound is the long I sound, you spell it with an IGH. So when you have a one vowel word that ends with a T, you spell the long I sound with an IGH. Okay, so your word is crite. Crite, and I want you to spell the k sound with a C. Crite. Well done. Crite. I'm trying to say the I sound in the middle. Yeah, autocorrect, I know. Okay, so our consonants are, I'm spelling that k sound with a C because that is the most common way to spell the k sound, and it's the correct way to spell it in most cases. I'll talk about that in just a second. The rest of the consonants are there's our I sound, and then our t. So here we see it's a one vowel word that ends with a T. When you're spelling the long I sound in that situation, you spell it with an IGH. One vowel word ends with a T, spell the I sound with an IGH. So when we're spelling the k sound, and we're going to have a whole lesson on this, you always use a C. Well, there's three different ways you can spell that sound. You can use a C, a K, or a CK. And that's a long lesson. It's a little bit of a complex lesson. But for the most part, you're going to spell the k sound with a C almost always. If this next letter was an E, I, or Y, then that would have been spelled with a K. Like the name Kent, the word kiss would be spelled with a K, because if you put a C before it, then it would turn into scent, and this would be an odd word, cis. Okay, so a C will make its hard sound always, and that's the letter that you use to make the k sound almost always. The only time you use a K is in one of these three situations, if the next letter is an E, I, or Y. All right. I see some people are writing, so I'll leave that up there for just a second. Okay, our next word is thipid. Thipid. Let's do that together. So we have, and my first letter is an F like Frank. I, P, I, D. Consonants. I, P, I, D. Now for the I sound, I'm going to start with an I. Can it say I in this spot? Yes, because there's a vowel in the next one or two places right here. So this I says I just fine right here. Nothing else needs to be done. For the I sound, we start with an I. Can we leave that I like that? Can this I say I in this spot? Yes, because there's not a vowel in the next one or two spots. So this I says I because one of the next two letters is another vowel. This I says I because there's not another vowel in the next one or two spots. Vowels will say their name if one of the next two letters is a vowel. If not, it won't. It'll make its common short sound and say I. Okay. Your word is shy tip. Shy tip. Go ahead. Shy tip. Shy tip. Good, Nathan. Good, Lily. Shy tip. Beautiful. Yeah, such fast learners, my goodness. Shy tip. Now we can't accidentally misread this one, okay? No accidents in reading this one. We have to keep those eyes saying what they're supposed to say in this word because we're not going to be cursing in my class. So our consonants are sh, I, t, I, p. Vowels. This I says I because one of the next two letters is another vowel. This I says I because there's not a vowel in the next one or two spots. So this word is shy tip. Shy tip. Would you please let me know if you spelled shy tip without me? Did you get that one? Actually, I can see right here in the chat. You guys just know how to make my day. All right. It seems that you're doing okay, so we're gonna just kick it up just a tiny bit, just a little notch up, okay? But let's do this next one together. This word is ply fin dip. Ply fin dip. I'll do it with you. We have p, l, I, f, I, n, d, I, p. Consonants. P, l, I, f, I, n, d, I, p. Vowels. This I can say I right here just fine because there's a vowel in the next one or two spots. For this I sound, I'm going to spell it with an I. I can say I if the next two letters are consonants and because it's in the middle syllable. So this I says I for two reasons. It says I because neither of the next two letters is another vowel, plus it's in the middle syllable. There's a syllable before it and a syllable after it. Two vowels on either side of it that don't touch it. Now for this I, it can also say, and I can say I just fine right here because of the tab 2 rule. There's not a vowel in the next one or two spots. So ply fin dip. What would this say just for fun? If I put two F's there, now what would it say? Yeah, so this I cannot say I anymore because there's not a vowel in the next one or two spots. So it's not allowed to say its name now. It has to make its regular short sound and say I. So this word would say pliffin dip. Pliffin dip, right? All right, your word is brightimbit. Brightimbit. Don't think about the word bright. Think about this whole long word, brightimbit. 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 Wow. We have some star students here in this class. Brightimbit. Wonderful. My goodness, you guys must be feeling pretty good. Brightimbit. Okay. Brightimbit, our consonants are, and my mouth is closed there in the middle. Brightim, my mouth is closed there in the middle. Okay, so our consonants are b, I, t, I, m. There's where my mouth is closed. B, I, t. So vowels. This I can say I here because there's a vowel one or two doors down. This I can say I here because there's not a vowel one or two doors down. Same with this one. I. Brighten bit. Brighten bit. Just for fun, do you see this MB right here? Whenever you hear a word and you're wondering if it is a M or an N, like maybe, because it's hard to tell if I'm saying brighten bit or brighten bit. Think of the phrase, peanut butter. Let me put this in the chat. Think of, peanut butter. That is to remind you that it's going to be spelled with an M if the next letter is either a P or a B. So if you were wondering if the word is umbrella or umbrella, because it's hard to tell if you just listen to it, you know, sometimes because your mouth kind of closes regardless to make that B. So it's hard to know if it's closing because of the M or if it's closing because of the B. Is it an M or is it an N? If the next letter is a B or a P, it's going to be an M. So it's umbrella. Umbilical cord. Umpire. There's a P. So if you're wondering if it's an M or an N right there, if the next letter is a P or a B, it's going to be an M. Umbrella instead of umbrella. Fun fact. All right, let's do one more, maybe two. Let's do the word together. Trisp. Trisp. So we have isp. Consonants. Actually, go ahead and do this one on your own. Trisp. 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 Good. Consonants are t, I, sp, and our I can spell I right there perfectly fine. So now you know how to spell crisp because you can spell trisp. You just substitute this T for a C and you've got crisp, and now you know why it's spelled that way. All right, try the word. Okay, I'm going to leave you with this one because I want to set you up well for the extra practice. I hope we can have time to do two more here. I want this one. Let's do this one together. Pit. I, f, I, p, I, t. Consonants. I, f, I, p, I, t. Vowels. I, f, I. This I can say I just fine right here because there's a vowel in the next one or two spots, but can this one say I here? You might not think so because there's a vowel here or here. However, if I is in the middle syllable, it gets to say I. That's why I wanted to do this one together, because you might think that it would need two P's. And it would in most cases. The fact that you even thought that is brilliant. However, if it's in the middle syllable, it doesn't need two P's after it. So this is how you would spell pit. So try one like that without me. Sip. I spit out that P. Sip. 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 Yeah, I am, Lily. Okay, sip. Consonants. P, O, I, T, I, S, I, P. Vowels. Our I can say I here because there's a vowel one or two doors down. This I can say I here just fine because it's in the middle syllable. And then this I spells the I sound at the end. There's sip. All right, real quick. before we hop over to the reading class. So next week you might have noticed an email or you might have noticed the module changes. Next week we're going to be, I'm so excited, we're going to be combining our Monday and Wednesday and Tuesday, Thursday class. You're invited to join them. I'm going to take care of all of that for you. You just log in as normal, just on a different day and time. If you're not able to come at that time, I'm sorry, the recordings are still there, but during these times, you will be invited for free to come to a practicum with me where we can read and spell one-on-one kind of together. I've done this before and it's a big hit. I just usually save it for the end of the year, but now I'm going to do it all year long. So you'll see that invitation in the modules when you hop over to the Monday, Wednesday class, that invitation to join that practicum. So that in the practicum, our cameras will be on, our mics will be on. It'll be a lot of interaction. I will just listen to you read and spell one-on-one with my direct feedback. I love that class. It's when we really get to, it's when we really get to hammer it home, and I just get to praise you one-on-one. It's so fun. It's so great. Any questions about that? Okay. All right, my friends. Have a wonderful night. See you next time.